Hello, I'm Nigel and I'd like to do another short review for military and budget watch collectors. Today it's of my Alpha Planet Ocean Homage watch. It's a Homage with the orange bezel. You can get one with a black bezel as well. It's a homage to a diver's watch, as you can see with the rotating bezel there, which rotates on the ratchet all the way around. A nice ratchet movement there. It isn't an actual diver's watch in so much as it's only 5 ATM or 50 metres water resistant, so it's really a sports watch. But it's nice and strongly made, and in everyday normal wear should last many years. It's got a nice strong stainless steel case, nice strong bezel, nice strong solid link bracelet, and a good clasp arrangement at the bottom with a push button. All feels very sturdy. The back is of the screw-on variety with the Alpha logo. It's marked 5 ATM. All the links are solid, including the end links. It's nicely brushed stainless steel, nicely polished, nicely tapering down the edges there. The crown guard is actually built into the case on this model. I've actually got the crown unscrewed there just to demonstrate, but when the crown is screwed in, it does go flush with the side of the case to protect it. There we go. There we go, you can see now, nice and flush with the side of the case. A very sleek design really. The bezel sits nicely on the top of the case there, and it's about a 42mm diameter case if you measure right out to the end of the case there. I think it's about 42mm. It defies how wide it actually is really, because it's nice and tapered, and it actually feels to wear smaller than its dimensions, which I quite like really. But it is a 42mm from edge to edge of the case there, with a smaller diameter bezel on top, and it's a nice depth at the side, about 14mm, and the bracelet is to adjust it, it's the screw link variety, which I'll do a quick demonstration on adjusting the bracelet later. I'll actually retrace my steps to show that, but it should be informative in any case. I did do a little bit of refinish on this watch, just because I felt like and I wanted to just increase the finish on the case. So I rebrushed the edge here because I wanted just a finer brushing arrangement which was a little bit more uniform, and that was a 5-minute job and it came up beautifully, showing that the stainless steel is good quality. And I also did a little bit of repolishing, and again the watch responded superbly to that, and I did that as well by removing the bracelet and repolishing between the end link and the bezel, which you can see now is nice and shiny as it should be, and I repolished the edges of the links there and rebrushed the bracelet, and it all responded superbly to all those actions, showing that it is a good quality stainless steel case and bracelet. The crown is marked with the Alpha logo. As I say, it is a screw down crown. Moving on to the face, it's a nicely detailed face, luminous hands for both the tip of the second hand and the tips of the hour and minute hand. Also the plots are luminous, and it's nicely applied and uniform. The face is a nice matte black and looks good quality, and the Alpha logo is nicely applied, and at the bottom it says automatic water resistant, and it has the date at the side. Timekeeping very good, no problems whatsoever. If I wear it every day, it's properly working as an automatic watch. I don't need to wind it. If I don't wear it, I tend to give it 20 winds in the morning when I get up and 10 winds when I go to bed at night. But if I wear this watch every day for a week, say, I don't need to wind it, and having regulated it to a new quartz watch and the atomic clock, the new quartz watch being a Seiko, it's keeping as good a time over a weekly basis as the Seiko. A bit of background information on the movement. It is an alpha Chinese watch using, there's some dispute over this or some debate over it from what I've read on the internet as to what movements are in these. Some people seem to think the seagull movements, some people seem to think they're a more generic Chinese movement, and it all seems to be down to quality control and look of the draw, dependent on what movement you end up with in the watch that you actually come into ownership of. If you get the seagull movement, a good indication that the watch you've got has the seagull movement is if when you pull the crown, the movement is a hacking movement, i.e. that on pulling the crown, the second hand immediately stops, so you can synchronise it. I believe that's an indication that you've been lucky enough to get the seagull movement in your watch. If for any reason the movement doesn't hack, for example if I'm pulling the crown the hand carries on ticking for maybe 5 seconds, it's an indication that it's a more generic Chinese movement. But even with the generic Chinese movements, for the price it's still a superb watch, and it seems with this one I was lucky enough to get the seagull movement because it does hack when I unscrew and pull the crown. The second hand does stop. The source that I get them from off eBay have been very good, and I think a lot of it depends on the source that you actually decide to get from. That's what I understand anyway. It depends to some extent on the supplier as well as the manufacturing process. That's what I've read at least anyway. So all in all, a very nicely made watch. Everything's very, very sturdy, a very good looking watch, and a very nice Planet Ocean homage. The bracelet is a president style, a bit different to the other style of divers, where the oyster style, in so much as the links are in the centre are of a shorter length, giving an even link. I can probably demonstrate that by just putting this other alpha next to it with an oyster bracelet, and there we are. You can see the difference between a precedent bracelet on the Planet Ocean and the oyster bracelet on the Alpha Paul Newman Daytona next to it. It's there. So that's just to demonstrate a precedent bracelet and an oyster bracelet, both very popular bracelets, both very nice looking. Just to give you a little bit background information on adjusting the bracelet, I'll have to retrace my steps here because I've already done it. These are the links that I had to remove because I do have a smaller wrist, and the screw in links. This is one of the screws there. You do have to be very careful with these. They are a very small diameter head, so you do need a very small screwdriver. Come in most watchmakers' toolkits, and it's just a case of really being very careful. I'll reinsert this into the pin there so you can see how it goes through. Obviously, if this was a constructed bracelet, the other link would be in there and it would be holding it in, but this view gives you an indication of how the link works, and that then screws down and holds the link in. It's quite simple to screw in and remove for obvious reasons, and with the hole going all the way through that you can see there, once you have screwed it out of the threads, you can then push it through like that with the dowel tool, which prevents you bending the pin, and then you can either pull it out by using your fingers or use a small pair of watchmakers' tweezers like that. And the easiest way to hold the bracelet while you're doing all this is in the normal type of tool there to hold the bracelet, so you can adjust it. As I say, I had to retrace my steps there, but that's just a reversal of the process of either adding or taking out the links. So moving all that to one side, I'll just give you a quick view of how the watch wears. And I'll just rotate the bezel back to the 12 o'clock position so everything lines up nicely. And there we are, sitting quite nicely. A great looking watch for around the £70 mark, nicely polished, a nice orange bezel with the black markings for the elapsed time round the top, nicely brushed on the edges now, and the nice precedent bracelet, a good feeling of quality to the clasp as well, and it will, at the size of watch, is probably an ideal size for most wrist sizes, should you want to wear a watch which is in the sort of mid-size range. And there we are, that's it. One of the favourite watches in my collection, and one that I tend to wear most as it feels very robust. Had it about 2 months now, and it just seems to be getting running better and better all the time as the running process continues, and the watch distributes the oil within the movement, and it's winding nicely and the crown's screwing down nicely, and I'm very happy indeed with it. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that little review.